So, what happens when you let a junk journaler loose in the city of New Orleans on vacation for 4 days? Let me tell you what happens. In fact, let me show you what happens. This happens. I have just dumped or put on my bed all the things I either picked up wandering around the city or purchased at different places around the city, all in the spirit of my junk journaling. We'll just call it my new addiction. Everything from brochures to postcards, playing cards, books. Oh my goodness gracious, look at all of these goodies. All right, now I have to organize it all so I can do some haul videos. Stay tuned. For some reason, I'm not able to tag it, but in a previous video, I shared how I went on vacation to New Orleans for 4 days, and I got all this stuff from my junk journaling. And Tiffany made a comment about how I did such a good job collecting, and yes, I got a lot of stuff, but I also did something that I thought was a practice I'll have to make sure I keep doing. So let me share it with you and see what you think. So we went out and about to different restaurants while we were there, and we went to a restaurant for lunch that's the second oldest restaurant in New Orleans, and it's where brunch was invented apparently, and the food was so good, and I said to my husband when we were done, I wonder if I can take a keepsake for my scrapbook, for my journal. And so after we were done, I went to the hostess and I said, well, I am a scrapbooker, a junk journaler, and I like to collect ephemera to put into my journals. Do you have any thing that you might be willing to give me that I can put into my journal? And she got so excited. She goes, oh yes. And so she gave me this. This is I guess a brochure of the restaurant. It's called Two Jages. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. It was established in 1856. This is a picture of the building, and on the back is a menu. So I was very excited that she shared this with me. And then she said, I don't know if you can use this, but we just had these specially made. Would you like one? And I said, yes. So look at these beads I got. It's a nice heavy medallion. It's thick. Look at that. It's so thick, but the letter T for the restaurant. So I was so happy that I asked because she gave me these items. And so that's the story for me, was go ahead and ask when I go to restaurants. So as we went around to different restaurants, I was asking. We went to Cafe Du Monde, and the server was wearing a hat, and I said to my husband, I wonder how I get one of those hats. So I asked the waiter, and he said, oh, we sell them for 25 cents. So look, I have Cafe Du Monde hats. I was so excited. I probably will only use one. I don't know what I'm going to do with the other one, but hey, I'm going to hold on to it just in case. But isn't that cool? And then we went to the World War II Museum. The National World War II Museum, and ate in one of their restaurants. And when we were done, I said, I'm going to go ask if they can give me something, because I'm going to make this a regular practice from now on. So I went to the hostess stand and I told them I'm a journaler, a scrapbook. Do they have anything they could give to me? And she goes, oh yeah, I can run back to the office and get you a couple things. So she ran back to the office and she got me a coaster. Now, had they brought this to my table, I probably would have just taken it, because I do have a couple other paper coasters. I know, but hey, they're paper. They're not going to be reused, right? You know, they get wet when you put your drinks on them. So yeah, she gave me the coaster. And when they brought our bill, they brought Tootsie Rolls, because there is an association between Tootsie Rolls and the war, World War II. And there was this little inset in the receipt holder, ticket holder. So she gave me this little inset that explains the story of why they gave Tootsie Rolls to the soldiers during the war. And so she gave this to me so I can put this in my junk journal as well. Of course, I had to keep the Tootsie Roll wrapper so I can put this with my junk journal. So the moral of the story? The moral of the story is, when you go to a restaurant, ask if they have anything they'd be willing to give you for your junk journal. I'm so excited to have all these things. Now, I do want to show you what I'm going to do with this big medallion beads. 1 second. All right, so here's my current junk journal, and I shared in another video that I've done the month of October, but I'm going to do a special section just for the New Orleans trip, and this is what I'm going to do. Now, this is my journal bookmark charms that goes with my journal, so that will be in here. And I plan on making a pocket when I get to the page where I will put this medallion, and I'm going to leave the beads hanging out. They're going to become like another part of the charm, because what's going to happen is, when I'm looking at my junk journal, I will have my October, I will have my New Orleans section that the medallion will be in. And then I am going to move on to November because I do have room to junk journal November. And that way, for the future, when I look at this, I'll know this is my New Orleans trip. So believe me, that medallion is going in this little baby right here. I'll be making more videos to show off what's in my New Orleans haul. So stay tuned for more. New Orleans trip haul part 3. You may have seen my earlier video where I shared all the things I picked up on my recent trip to the Crescent City, and so I'm going to show you in groups the things that I picked up, what my plans are for them, and maybe it'll give you some inspiration for things you can do. I don't know, but I think it's fun to share, so that's what I want to do. So I'm going to start with brochures. So you know how when you walk into like a hotel or a visitor center, they have these stands with all these brochures? Yeah, I picked up a whole bunch. Now, I didn't take one of everything, but I certainly got a bunch of brochures. The nice things about these brochures is they really give you a sense for what there is available to do in a city. So I particularly like the ones that are ones of different tours, and especially if they have maps in them, like this one does, right? So you can put those into your junk journal. So this one is definitely making it in my book. Now there are some others that I picked up. We've got tour and jazz cruises. We've got a cemetery tour. We have another a walking tour, another cemetery tour. And so I like these because they give me images to use for when we do different things in the city. And if I don't use them, then I can include them maybe in some swaps. I do want to get started with some state swaps. That's not something I've done before. Again, I'm new. I've only been doing this a couple of months. However, I've seen so many videos of people doing their swaps that I thought, okay, I can get some geography specific brochures and then have them available to exchange with others in case they're interested in some Louisiana ephemera. So these are all the brochures. As you can see, some great images. I'm not even opening them up all the way, but you can see that these are going to be great material for my journal. And I also picked up some brochure-like materials. So one of the shops in the French Quarter was an art shop. We bought some art there. And so the artist had this little card of his work. So I'm definitely going to include that because we really admired his work. His name is Shakur. And we went to a store in the French Market that was filled with local artist shop. And I love the local art of the local artist, Robin Danning. You can see her name here. She does art on dominoes, so that's really interesting. On Halloween Day, we actually happened upon a voodoo fest. It's been going on for many years in New Orleans, and so we were there for a couple of hours just listening to the wonderful music. There was some spoken word, food. It was just a great ambiance on the middle of the French Quarter. And then in our hotel, they gave us a coupon for some tours, so I kept the little brochure they had for that. So these are going to be fun to use, and what I don't end up using in my book, I'll save or include in some swaps. So let me know if you're interested in doing any swaps. New Orleans Trip Haul Part 4. I've been doing videos to share all the things I picked up on my recent trip to New Orleans, so definitely go back and catch some of the earlier ones. I got a lot of stuff, and so I'm doing this in parts. And this part I'm going to refer to as postcards and miscellaneous. Let me show you what I've got. Let's start with the miscellaneous. Now, these are things that are just part of everyday experience as we were going around the city. So, of course, there are your obligatory kind of travel ephemera, right? So these are the baggage tags. I do have some of our boarding passes. I did get the print boarding pass so I could specifically put it in the scrapbook. And then I kept a little Southwest tag because I like what it says, can I tag along? I like that. So that's definitely going in the journal. Then, of course, we have receipts. Now, I'm not going to go piece by piece into each receipts, and I'm not sure if I'm actually going to put these in my junk journal because they do fade over time, right? But if there's something that is from a store that's particularly interesting, I might go ahead and put it in there. Like, for example, we ate at a place called Daisy Dukes. That was the first breakfast place we had, Daisy Dukes. So I don't know. I might put some of those in my journal. I'm not sure. Now, I do like the receipt from Shake Shack because on the back of it, there are some fun designs and graphics. So I might paste these onto some decorative paper and then put them into the journal. But I do definitely think I'm going to put the Shake Shack one in there. As well as the straw because it's got a nice design on it. Then there's some day-to-day products. I did end up having to do laundry while we were there, so I kept the packaging from the laundry packaging. Our hotel gave me makeup wipes, so I have been using makeup wipes because my lipstick is a matte lipstick, and I use makeup wipes to take it off. And then I did have to get some ibuprofen, so I did keep that packaging as well. Now let's move on to postcards. We went to the Marie Laveau House of Voodoo Museum, and so I did pick up some postcards from the store there because voodoo is definitely part of exploring New Orleans and getting to understand the city culture. We also went to the National World War II Museum, so I picked up these postage stamp postcards. I really like these because they're postage stamps. And I got 3. I don't know what I'm going to do with all 3 of them yet, but one is definitely going into the scrapbook. I picked up a postcard for the 6888. That's the African American women group that helped with during the war. And then at the museum, I picked up a few postcards, some greetings from New Orleans. I thought they were cute, and greetings from home. And I have plans for this. And I had to get some New Orleans flavor postcards. Cafe Du Monde, greetings from New Orleans, a Blue Dog postcard. I love George Rodriguez Blue Dog art. I used to have a book, a postcard for the state of Louisiana, and then a postcard for the French Quarter. So those are cool things I got from my scrapbook, my junk journal. Stay tuned for more. New Orleans Trip Haul Part 5. We're going to call this one Stickers and Cards. I've been sharing videos about all the things I picked up on my recent trip to New Orleans, and I'm having fun sharing them with you. So let's see what I got in this batch. We'll start with stickers. So I picked up this sticker here, and then I like this reading book Mermaid. I got this at Crescent City Books. While I was there at the bookstore, I picked up this one's a Halloween themed one with Frankenstein kind of theme. I love this sticker. I'm not a hoarder. I'm a hero. I rescue books trapped in the bookstore. I am definitely going to be showing you some of the books that I got at Crescent City Books that I'll be using for my ephemera book pages. Oh my gosh, but this sticker right here is a keeper for sure. And then I like this sticker, New Orleans is a book cult. Tell me about it. We went to the National World War II Museum, so I got the Rosie stickers. I got 2 of these because I'll put one in my junk journal and I'll maybe share the other one. I got some New Orleans City stickers. So these are nice to have as documentation of the trip. I love this mask sticker. And I got a little jazz playing voodoo doll, I guess, here in this chrome sticker. Now, we saw some local art. My husband was there to attend a vampire ball. So at the bazaar, there was an artist sharing his work. So I bought these stickers from him. His name is Russell. I'll have to see if I can find him and maybe tag him. I'm not sure if he's on this platform, but I liked his stickers. So those are the stickers. Let's switch to the cards. So as we're out and about, we collected up different cards. This is a taxi driver we had. He was so funny. And then as we were picking things up from around town, I would pick up vendor stickers or people's cards, I'm sorry, not stickers, as we would get things from them because we wanted to support their work, and I definitely wanted to be looking them up later. And I may not keep all of these and put them in my junk journal, but I definitely will keep some of them. Ooh, Paper to Plume. I have a great papers book that I got from here. I'll have to show you. And then other cards from different places or different people that we would run into in the city. Here's the card from Marie Laveau's House of Voodoo. I showed you some of the postcards from her store in another video. I got this Elvis note card from an artist on the French Quarter. I love Elvis. At the World War II Museum, I got this notepad for the museum, so I'm happy to have that. I also got some stickies from the World War II Museum that I'm going to be including. There's more than 250 sticky notes in here. And then I got these color posters, and there's a reason I got these. These are for kids, and I'm planning to put together some junk journal kits for kids in the next year. So I was happy to get this. And I still have more things to show you, so more videos are coming. This is the 6th video in my haul videos from my recent trip to New Orleans. And in this one, I want to particularly highlight the National World War II Museum. If you're ever in New Orleans, I highly recommend visiting. It's a fantastic museum, extremely educational. They did a really good job. I learned a lot. So as part of our experience going through the museum, I did pick up some ephemera. They have a nice campus guide that explains all the areas that you can view in the museum and all the different buildings. So I did hold on to our campus guides. They also have the guides available in different languages. So they have it available in all these languages. I picked up one of each because I think that's wonderful that they were doing that. And these could be great keepsakes to have. And I won't use all of them, but I will put them in my ephemera inventory, my ephemera library, because I can use them as I have exchanges with other junk journalers. I also picked up a coloring pack, or let's see, what do they call this? It's a coloring activity pack. Again, this is probably targeted more for kids, but I picked it up because, as I mentioned in an earlier video, I do plan to make some junk journal kits for kids in the coming year. And so I wanted to have some things I want to start collecting things to include. And I may put something from here in my own junk journal or share with others, but I definitely am excited to have started and continuing to build my collection of kit stuff. Now, the museum has a museum guide that really does a beautiful job of highlighting the exhibits in the museum. So I picked up a museum guide. I actually have two of them, but there are some stunning images in here. And it does a really good job of showing you the different areas and different exhibits. So I plan to use images from this to document the parts of the exhibits that really spoke to me in my experience going through the museum. But you can get a feel for the quality of these images. I mean, look at this stunning, beautiful color images to tell this very moving story of what happened during World War II. So I plan to use several of these in my junk journal and then have the rest as part of my junk journal inventory of ephemera so that I can either share with others in swaps or put in ephemera kits. So again, I really wanted to highlight the National World War II Museum. Definitely worth visiting and exploring if you're ever in the city of New Orleans. Oh, and look at the bag, the shopping bag that we got. This is definitely going into the junk journal. Stay tuned for more. It's time for another video to show more of the haul that I got of ephemera from my recent trip to New Orleans. This is haul video number 7. And I've been sharing my ephemera based on groups. So this group is playing cards. Now, before I show you how many decks of playing cards I got, I want to talk about why I picked them up. And I picked them up for a very specific reason. I'm a member of the Thrifty Day community in Patreon that's organized and run by Leah. And I have learned so much from Leah in the Thrifty Day community. It was my introduction to junk journaling. One of the other members in the Thrifty Day community is a lady named Rena. And I was watching Rena's video, and I'll tag both Thrifty Day and Rena in this video. But I was watching a video from Rena, and she talked about how she hides her journaling so that when she shares her spreads, you don't see her journaling, you just see the spread. And I really like that idea. I have felt that my journaling on the pages has really kept me from sharing my pages online, and I don't want that. I want to be able to share the pages that I make, but not have all the journaling exposed. Now, I don't do a lot of journaling. I write notes and adult notes. I don't do a lot of writing, but I do write. And so I thought, oh, I could use playing cards to hide my journaling by putting them on the page as flaps, and then that way you don't have to see the writing. I don't have to worry about that being exposed. I can just show the creative part of my work. So between playing cards and postcards, that's my plan, to start using them to hide my journaling like I saw Rena do. So little introduction before I show you these cards. And here they are. I ended up with 10 packs of playing cards after my trip. So these 2 packs I got from a gift shop. These, let's see, let me show you. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one I got from the French market. This one I got from the National World War II Museum. And this one I got at the airport as I was leaving. Let me show you what each card set looks like. This first one looks exactly like the actual cover of the box. So all the cards are the same design. Same with this deck. All the cards are the same design. And I'm going to jump up here to the set from the National World War II Museum. All the cards are the same design with the African-American Rosie the Riveter. Switching over to the set from the gift shop, the US 50 States, while the front is all the same, the back of each card highlights a different location. So these are going to be particularly nice for any geographic junk journaling because all the locations are different. So I'm excited for this because I can use it to document so many different memories in different locations and even use them in swaps and exchanges. Okay, I've moved the cards around. Let's focus on this deck that I got from a gift shop. So this is historic French Quarter, and look, 52 card faces. So while the front is the same, look at these cards, y'all. It has on here different buildings to represent the French Quarter. Let me see if I can do it this way. These are gorgeous. I am in love with this deck. Didn't cost much either. I think maybe $5. So this is going to be really, really nice for junk journaling and even some swaps. I'm so excited about those. Now, this batch of cards is where I really got in trouble. We went to the French market and there's a booth there of the New Orleans Playing Card Company. I had no idea such a company existed. And they specialize in premium playing cards. And I love the different themes. I got Stitch because I'm a huge Lilo and Stitch fan. You will definitely see more of that coming in my junk journals in the future. So all the same card face, but I love Lilo and Stitch. I got the Mickey set, Mickey and Friends set, because I'm trying to collect Disney. I live in Florida. I'm only about an hour and a half from Disney World. And I've mentioned this in other videos. I'll be doing some ephemera kits for children in the next year or so. I have some long-term plans I'll share more about later, but I'm wanting to collect things that are really good for kids. And plus there's Disney adults too, right? People love Disney. I love Disney, so I wanted the Disney set. My husband is a big Popeye fan, so I got the Popeye card deck also for the ephemera kits I'll be putting together. Hello Kitty. I'm planning to do a junk journal with a theme of Hello Kitty in the spring. So I wanted to have this on hand for my inventory for when I get to Hello Kitty. And then this set right here was just beautifully decorated, and it's the 7 Wonders of the Ancient World. This is particularly the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. This is a special set that the lady at the booth says she anticipates the company will make more. This is their first card deck, so there's 7 wonders. This is deck 1. I will absolutely have to collect the others if they actually make them. So I want to show you this deck though, because for these, all the card faces look like the box cover, but this I want to show you. So here is what the cards look like. There's some beautiful imagery on the cards that have the, the Jack, the Queen, the King, and the Ace. Beautiful, beautiful. Oh, not the Ace. Oh yeah, the Ace has a beautiful drawing. But look at this. If I put these cards on their side, they have a gold sheen to them. I thought that was beautifully done. These cards are stunning. So they'll be making an appearance in my junk journal. So do you think I got enough playing cards? Maybe I should play cards instead of using them in my junk journals. However, I was going to end this video and then I realized I said something that was not completely true, and I really want to show something else to you. So hold on. I want to show off the other boxes of cards because while the card faces are all the same, and in the case of the Popeye, all the card faces are like this. So there you see the card faces. The actual card themselves do have some decor to them. So here are the face cards from the Popeye set. Gorgeous artwork, very nice. Next we have the Mickey cards. So there's the card face, and then here are the decorations from the actual cards themselves. Beautiful. So much color in these, and they definitely are going to be fun. Next we have the Hello Kitty set. So here's the Hello Kitty set. This is what the card face looks like, and then here are decorative cards from the actual set. So cute. I also think I want to find some Choco Cat ones to go along with these because we like Choco Cat too. And we have the Stitch card deck. So there's the box again. Here are 2 card backs, and that's what most of the cards look like. This one, and here are the decorative cards. So I like these. Again, it's Stitch, and it's also I think her name is Angel. I don't know the pink one as much, but Stitch, Operation 626, I am all over him. But I love this card deck. Look how fun and festive that is. We love Stitch. Okay, so now I can end the video. That's a lot, but I wanted to show off the cards. I'm excited to be using them for my journaling. I will use them as flaps, as I said at the beginning of the video. And I think I have 2 more haul videos to make. Those are going to focus on the books. Stay tuned. I've made 7 videos now to show the haul from my recent trip to New Orleans. and I have 2 more videos to make. So this is New Orleans trip haul number 8. And I've been sharing what I've gotten by themes of the type of ephemera that I have. So this particular theme for this video is going to be little golden books. So here are my little golden books that I picked up on the trip. I did get 5 of them, and these are brand new. Now, typically I would not buy books brand new. I really would prefer to get them from used bookstores or thrift stores. I do have about 10 little golden books already that I got that way very cheaply, but I was out and about, saw these, and decided to get them because I'm going to be doing some special projects with them. So the first one that I got was Lucille Ball. I have a family member who's a really big fan of I Love Lucy. And so here we have the classic Vita Vita Vegemin scene in the front page. And then, of course, if you're familiar with little golden books, this will all look very familiar and recognizable to you. So I got the Lucille Ball. I also got the Goonies. This is a Funko Pop style one. So I was happy to get this one, the 1980s, very nostalgic. I love the Golden Girls, so I had to get the Golden Girls book. I just like the drawings and the imagery on this one. And so I now have that in my collection. And then I have Gremlins. This is a movie I love and have very fond memories of going to the movie theater to see when I was a young child, probably about 8 years old. So I love Gremlins. I love Gizmo. I really like, look, I'll show you who I really like too. I really like Spike. So there goes Gremlins. And then I got I Am Princess, Disney princesses. Because again, as I was saying in my last video, I want to collect some Disney. And who doesn't love Disney? Well, I know some people don't care for Disney, but I like Disney and I like the princesses. So I was happy to get this book. So these are the 5 little golden books that I got. But unlike some of the other books that I'm going to show you in my next video, these books are going to have a special purpose. Let me tell you what I plan to do with them. I will be turning them into ephemera holders. And again, as I've shared in past videos, I follow Leah from Thrifty Day. She was my introduction to junk journaling, and she had a tutorial about how to convert these books into ephemera holders. And I immediately got hooked and started making some. So that's what I'm going to do with these little golden books. I'm going to turn them into ephemera holders like this one. So this is an example of a little golden book that I converted into an ephemera holder. And I made this one for my daughter. She loves the color blue and she loves narwhals. So this is the book, I'm a Narwhal, and I did convert it, and now it holds a whole bunch of ephemera. So I converted the book and filled it with items for her. This is my card, my Tania Junk Journals card. And if you look inside, I have taken each page, but then in between the pages, I've inserted pockets, and I've been filling the pockets with different book page and different ephemera for her to use in her own junk journaling. So my plan is to do exactly that. Convert these little golden books into ephemera holders and pack them full of ephemera. I probably will pack them with about 100 different pieces of ephemera and then offer them for the community if you're interested in one. So, and then the pockets are made with scrapbook paper from the box stores that you can buy the paper packs. So she's been using up her ephemera, so it's time for me to do a restock for her. But you can see the idea is that interspersed between each page are these pockets with ephemera, and I had so much fun picking out the ephemera. I tried to go with themes that match the book itself, so blues and things that reminded me of the sea and the water. So that was fun to be able to pick out some ephemera just for her to fill up this ephemera kit book. So I'm excited because I'm going to be making more of these and then sharing them with you all here. Let me get the, and I still have some learning to do. This ephemera book isn't made quite as well as I would have wanted. So I'm going to be practicing and making them. But isn't that cool to convert the little golden book into an ephemera holder? So once I offer these out to the community and share them, you could get one and you can use the ephemera in it, and you can refill it with your own ephemera, or you can actually use up the pages in the pockets as ephemera for your own junk journaling. And that will be my plan for these little golden books. I'm so excited. Okay, finally, the last haul video from my recent New Orleans trip. So this is New Orleans trip haul video number 9. And this video is going to focus on more books that I got during the trip. Now, why do I get books? Because I really enjoy using book pages as ephemera for my junk journals. There's just something about it that just appeals to my heart, and I love, 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 love using books. They speak to me, I get inspired by them, and they're so much fun for my junk journaling. So while I was in New Orleans, I did pick up some books that I want to show you. I tried to get mostly vintage books, but I have actually a book of papers and then regular books. So I want to show those to you. In the French Quarter, I went to a wonderful stationery store called Papier Plume and saw this book of map papers. So this is by Pepin Press, and it is part of a series because this particular book is number 60. Do you see that 60? So Gift and Creative Papers, this one focuses on maps. And I love maps. They just make such interesting ephemera to junk journal with. So this is, I think, 20... Oh, here we go. We've got 12 large sheets of high quality paper. So let me show them to you so you can get a feel for what's in these books. So this is a black and white image of the 12 papers in here. But here they are in color. Look at this. Love the colors. So vibrant, so cool. I cannot wait to hopefully get more of these. I'm going to try to hold off till after the holidays because now that I've gotten all this stuff in New Orleans for myself, it's time to now focus on my loved ones. So I'm putting this on my list for after the holidays to look up more in these series and seek out more papers from these creative paper books. I just love this. Look at it. I want to show you all the pages. So let me keep turning here. And you can just see how vibrant and how colorful they are. Now, each of these pages that you see me turning is perforated, so it makes it easy to take them out of the book. So let me go back to the first one and show you how, you see it's perforated. Let me open this up for you. So I have torn the page out of the book, and look, you can open up each paper and look how big it is. Now, I've got a mess on my bed, so I'm not going to show you the whole bed, but this paper is huge. I can use this in so many different ways. And each of these 12 papers is this size. So I have 12 of these of that size. Isn't it gorgeous? And now I want to show you the actual books that I got and share with you some of the pages from them because I'm excited to have these. One second. So here are the books that I got that I'll be using for book page ephemera, and I'll tell you a little bit about each one and then show you some of the pages. I'm going to go through these in reverse chronological order so you get a sense of how old they are. So this is one I picked up from 2005. It's a series of, it's a collection of comics that were presented or offered for a hurricane relief telethon after Hurricane Katrina. So different artists came together and created cartoons to put into this book, and then they used the funds to help provide support for families affected by Hurricane Katrina. I got this because I like the comics. Again, I'm trying to collect some things that'll be good for youth. And I just like the story of this, right? This was done as a relief effort after a tragic natural disaster. So I did include this, and I'll be adding these pages to my ephemera library for use in my own junk journaling and for use with others and sharing with others. Next, I have this docent manual for the George Rodriguez exhibit that was at the New Orleans Museum of Art. I mentioned in an earlier video that I picked up a Blue Dog card because I love the Blue Dog art from George Rodriguez. And so this was a manual to help docents explain his art in the museum. So I love the Blue Dog art, so I had to get this small pamphlet type book. But these are pages that I thought would be good for, having some local Louisiana culture peppered throughout my junk journaling, and for anyone else who may be interested in some New Orleans paintings and artwork as well. This book is pretty fascinating. It's called Jimmy Corrigan, the Smartest Kid on Earth, and this is from 2003, so it's not yet vintage. However, the illustrations in this are absolutely amazing. Now, it is coming apart, but look at the drawings here. Now, this is, even though it's called Jimmy Corrigan, the Smartest Kid on Earth, this is actually not necessarily a kid's book. There are some adult themes in this book for telling the story of Jimmy Corrigan. So I'll have to be careful not to put anything in here for a kid that's not appropriate for a kid. However, let me show you these illustrations and some of these pages. Look at the quality of these drawings. You can see that the detail is just fantastic. And I was really drawn to these pages, and I definitely wanted to add these into my ephemera library. So I'm going to do some flip throughs here so you can just see the quality of these pages. Absolutely stunning. So I've already started taking the pages out, but you can see just the quality. Look at that. So beautiful, so vibrant. I really am going to enjoy using these and having these in my ephemera library. Now we're getting into some vintage items. So this is a book called the Hemmings Motor News Book of Post-War Fords. And so these are pages about cars from back in the day. So these always make for good pages to give you the older vibe in my junk journaling. And I'm excited to be able to have this now as well, because I think it makes a good addition to my ephemera collection. So I'll be using the pages from here and including those in my library. This book is from 1993. It's called Cooking Up the Blues. It's a book of recipes from notable people that you will recognize, and it was done in association with Tabasco. And so we have some beautiful, vibrant pages, colorful pages as people share recipes relevant to the New Orleans culture. I've got a recipe from Aerosmith, the Thomas family, Coco Taylor. There's lots of different recipes in here. I love the color of the pages and the different items that are in it. So I thought this would be fun to add to my ephemera collection. This book is from 1986, and it's a book of costumes in Scotland throughout the ages. Let me do some flip throughs. You can see the different designs and images and pictures in here. Aren't these just wonderful for junk journaling? So I am probably going to do some cutouts of these, maybe turn some of them into some handmade stickers. I don't know, but I really like this book and thought it would be interesting to have some fashion things added into my ephemera library. These two books are pretty similar. They're both from 1984, and they have pages in them relevant to New Orleans porcelain and furniture. So here we can see some of the images of the porcelain in this book, and at the beginning there are just some regular text pages, so that's always good for junk journaling. I may use some distressed ink or something on those. And then we have similar approach here for the furniture, different pages of some New Orleans furniture and the styles that were used. So I like these books. These are 1984, so these are also vintage books now. This is a book from 1982, American Traders in European Ports, and I got this book because of all the book pictures and images of boats and ships. I like nautical themes. I live in Florida, after all, right by the water. So I thought these would make great pages to use throughout my junk journaling and in my ephemera kits to represent Navy or nautical themes for creative documentation and memory keeping as we do our junk journaling. This book is from 1977, and it has Great Smoky Mountains wildflowers. It's a book filled of pictures to help identify flowers out in the mountains. I love the beautiful nature photos of all these different flowers and their different colors. And it's got that, 1970s tint to it. So these would make great additions to my ephemera library as I am doing junk journaling and including pages in my ephemera packs. So this is going to be fun to include. 1977, and this is stunning. It's called The Ship's Cat, and there are some beautiful full-page imagery in here. I'm getting low on time, so I'll just do a quick flip through and move on to the next books. This book is from 1973. It's called Pianos in the Smithsonian Institution, and I got it for all the images of the pianos. I thought they would make for great book page ephemera. This book is from 1970. It's the Cabildo on Jackson Square, and look at these pages. Excellent additions to my ephemera library. I'm going to have fun with it. And last but not least is this book from 1945 of British Railways. Let me do a quick flip through here before the video runs out. You can see examples of these pages. Love them, love them, love them. Woo, that's a lot. But I've now taken you through almost everything I got on my trip. And I had to get through these videos because I wasn't allowing myself to junk journal until I finished sharing the hauls with you. So now I will start beginning my journaling process and documenting my trip. There will be videos about that too. But if you've made it this far and you're interested in any of the pages I've shown, let me know. I'll send out some happy mail.